Hi, it's Heather Clifford with eXp Realty here in beautiful Campbell River and the Comox Valley area with a market update for mid-September 2023. In this presentation, I also want to touch on subject to sales and the interest rate. I also want to say a big thank you to the people that send me lots of questions about the market update and those of you that also challenge me on occasion with some of the things that I'm saying. By all means, at any time you can reach out to me to talk about real estate anytime, either by email, telephone, it's all good. So let's get started with my presentation that I put together for you today. Okay, let's get started. Once again, this is mid-September 2023 with our market update. So media release September 2023 from our chair of the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board, Kelly O'Dwyer. Kelly goes on to say that the last few weeks of August were slower than the rest of the summer, which isn't surprising. The market is usually pretty quiet right before school starts. And it's true. I'm sure that you can also feel the slight change in the real estate market because there's going to be less signs going up for sale of homes in your neighborhood. In its third quarter, the housing market forecast for the British Columbia Real Estate Association reports that the BC housing market has been more resilient than expected in 2023. That's because at the beginning of the year, they gave us a little bit of a lower forecast. That was in January. And then even despite two interest rates, the market stalled and then picked up again quite aggressively throughout May, June, and July. And then it started to slow down in August, and now we're into September. And while there are still buyers and sellers out there, it's not as busy as it has been. Now, I wanted to touch on interest rates because there's a lot of talk about perhaps they will go up again because our inflation is still, as they're putting it, out of control. Now, that's going to be very scary for a lot of people that have a mortgage that is coming up for renewal, especially if you're going to have to requalify for that mortgage. So the number one thing that you could do and that you should be doing is talking to your mortgage broker or the bank about different ideas or expectations that will be coming for you. So I also Googled the Credit Counseling Society's website, and they said to try to keep your life affordable when interest rates keep going up. When it comes right down to it, they say that a balanced approach is likely going to protect you during these times. However, I hear this quite a bit. They tell you to stop spending. We still have to buy food for our family. We still have to pay for our housing, our electricity, our internet, and things of that nature. So they also recommend maybe renting out a room in your house, which of course is going to help our housing crisis right now a little bit. And they look at different ways that you can cut your spending, as well as maybe even increasing your amortization date. So it's a good thing to do ahead of time before you are put in the position of having to pay higher payments. What can you start doing now and get your family used to before the time comes for that refinancing? And especially if you are on an open mortgage, you already know about the squeeze that you are under right now. The other thing that I wanted to touch on in this presentation before we look at the numbers is, should I find a home before I sell my present home? Which means we're seeing a lot of this right now. Because the market is slower, this is when a lot of people start deciding that maybe this is the time that they should find their home and then put an offer in subject to the sale of their existing home. Now, for a seller, that is not a very exciting offer to come across their table. A lot of times a real estate agent might accept it because you will end up paying probably more for the home than if you went in without that subject to sale. And also that means that if someone comes along and bumps your accepted offer subject to the sale of your home, you will only be given between 24 hours and 72 hours, usually not including the weekends or holidays, to remove that subject on that property. And in that case, the real estate agent might accept an offer in a backup position higher than your offer. And that makes the seller really want you not to be able to remove your subject. So it's a real catch-22. It's a very uncomfortable situation to be in. I have been on both ends of that subject to sale. And I highly recommend that you sit down with your real estate agent and figure out a plan that puts you in a better position than writing subject to sale. And especially if you're from out of province or out of the area where you're putting that offer in. Now, I've written out a few things to think about. So if you are planning on writing subject to sale, because a lot of people are far too uncomfortable to go any other way, you better make sure that your home is on the market. Now, to get your home on the market, it usually takes up to a week because we have to hire a professional photographer that's going to have to schedule your home in amongst their other properties. So make sure that your home is on the market. Make sure that you're priced sharp. There's no sense trying to be aggressive on your end when you're trying to purchase another home. It just doesn't work. You cannot have your cake and eat it too, so to speak. Make sure that you're talking to the bank. In some cases, you might want to talk to the bank about bridge financing. Most people cannot afford to do bridge financing, but in some cases, you might have means to do that. So speak to your bank and make sure that you have all your documents together on your property, such as do a pre-inspection. Make sure that you have the documents if you're strata. That way, when a buyer finally comes to your property, they can move faster on removing their subjects. So those are just some ideas if you're thinking about putting your home on the market for sale, but first finding a house. Give me a call and we can go through the complete scenario. So let's have a look at where we came from right now. Looking back at the month of August, I do not have September statistics. They actually don't come out till October. So what we're looking at here is our benchmark price for the month of August is $770,500. And you'll notice that that's only up slightly, $500 over $770,000 in July. And in June, we were at $759,900. So you can see June was lower than July, and July is just a tad lower than August numbers. If we go ahead and look at what our condo average benchmark price is, sorry, not average, but benchmark price, it's $397,900, and our townhouses are now sitting at $560,400. And I've actually got a screenshot of the townhomes and the condo. So you can look month over month and even go back and look a whole year from where we came from. Here are the different markets within the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board, and it will show you the numbers. And one of the things that I have to say is there's one market where prices never went up. And every other market, they just went up slightly. So we are definitely seeing a shift in our market right now. In Campbell River, the benchmark price of a single family home was $673,700 in August. That's up around 1% from the previous year. And the Comox Valley year-over-year benchmark price actually dropped. It's now $819,400, and it dropped from the previous year. Here's a good look at our single family homes across the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board markets. There's Campbell River month over month. You can see that we went up just slightly over last month. And in the Comox Valley, we're looking at the same thing, $819,400, whereas last month we were $815,700. And the Cowichan Valley just went up about $200 over last month. If we look at Nanaimo, well, there is the market where it stayed exactly the same month over month, and a slight increase in Parksville Qualicum. And there you will see where the market went down, and that was the Port Alberni and the North Island areas have seen the shift already happen. So we know the market is changing when it is no longer having the significant increases that we saw over the past 4 months. Here's a better look at your townhouse market. Campbell River now sits at $540,500. That is up slightly over a month ago, just about $4,000. And the Comox Valley townhouse market is sitting $562,900. And once again, that's up slightly, a little bit higher at $6,000 over last month. By any means, you can stop the presentation and have a better look at these numbers if they're important to you. Here is our condo market in Campbell River. We are now at $346,600, and that is up slightly, about $4,000 over last month. Comox Valley, we sit at $376,500 for the benchmark price of a condominium, and that is down just about $900 over last month. Once again, this is why people are moving to Campbell River in the Comox Valley. And I think most of all, it comes down to affordability, maybe freeing up their mortgage a little bit and having some money in the bank, paying off debts, moving because of the cities getting too crowded now, the traffic. We live in a beautiful part of the world, which I truly am feeling blessed. So who are moving to the island here in the Comox Valley and Campbell River area? Well, for myself as one real estate agent, I seem to be working with a lot of young families coming out of the lower mainland, at the Pemberton, Squamish areas, and Toronto. That seems to be the bulk of where my buyers are right now. And retirement. I have a number of people that are moving here for retirement. And I have to tell you that these people are the ones that are reluctant to sell their property first. For whatever reason, younger people seem to want to just get on with the show, I guess, and they know that it puts them in a better buying position if their home is sold. We also have a lot of professional people moving here to the Valley. It's good to hear because it's a lot of doctors and professional people in other careers. Here is a snapshot of month over month of my week shot. You can see that our listings are relatively the same. Our pending are relatively the same. Our price decreases are relatively the same. The big difference that I've noticed is the number of homes that have sold, because those properties have now sold back in August and early July. So we'll see what the numbers are for September, and I'm going to guess that they're going to be pretty close when I do my snapshot in October to what these numbers are right here for the September snapshot. A couple of things about some listings that I have. 2071 Campbell River Road is still available. This is an amazing property. It's 1.26 acres and it is backing onto the Campbell River. I was there yesterday. The gardens are just immaculate right now. The home needs work. It needs an occupancy certificate. So there's things that need to be finished. It is a solid home. There has been a lot of money spent on this property. By all means, reach out to me and I can give you some more information on this property. This is a newer listing that I have. Now, this is at 8882 Clarkson Avenue in Black Creek here at Saratoga Beach. And the interesting thing about this property, it's just shy of half an acre, but it's a TC zoning, and that's called tourist accommodation. And there are a lot of things that you can do with this property besides it being a handyman special. So reach out to me on this property and I can give you an update on this. I have an accepted offer now on Lake Trail Road, and I'm really excited for this buyer. I was walking this property yesterday, and I really just wanted to take it off the market because It's so beautiful. And there's so many things that you can do with this property, and it's right at the city limits, right? So there is lots of possibility if you're listening to the government right now and about affordable housing. And I just can see so many different things that could be done with this property, but I am very happy for this buyer, and my fingers are crossed that they'll be able to remove subjects. I have also sold Saratoga Beach Road. Once again, this property sold very, very fast. And it was a gorgeous property. I wish I had 10 of these properties on the market right now. A lot of people were very disappointed to miss out on this property. Last but not least, yesterday, for about the 100th time, I stopped by More Eatery in Campbell River. It's a newer restaurant since COVID, and it's just before you head over the bridge to Campbellton or head out to Gold River at 1901 Island Highway. And the food is amazing. And because I'm on my own right now, I also picked up some dinner for me for the next couple of nights. And I'm looking forward to really enjoying this food. It's a great little restaurant. The food's amazing. And I definitely highly recommend it. There we go. That is our market update for mid-September. My name is Heather, and I would love to help you with your real estate needs, or even if you just have some questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We have a few more days of summer left. Enjoy yourself.